What's up? It's Robert from Existence First. This video is going to be about communication. These are tools that I've had to use this very week to maintain my groundedness, and they're tools that I hope will help all of you. I'm going to go through them very quickly, but just seeing them will kind of give an idea of how to look for these things. And who knows, you might even come up with your own. If you do, write them in the comments below. But these are all tools for defending ourselves against sloppy communication from others. And this is not to say that other people are bad because of this. It's just, I think people just are not very intentional when it comes to their own communication. So let's get to it. Number one, presenting a fact as an emotion. So here's an example of that. Someone takes a fact and they preface it with, I just feel like. So they might say, I just feel like we're not getting the assignments done on time. And so what you have to recognize is that even though they framed it as a feeling, it's really a fact. So the answer to that, the way you respond is, well, are we getting the assignments done on time? It's a question of fact. And you have to go from there. Right? But it's very confusing when people start it with, I just feel like. And it's also a way that they try to absolve themselves of responsibility. Number two is sort of the opposite of number one. It's taking an emotion and presenting it as a fact. So in this one, someone might say, well, I deserve to be paid more. And they might say very confidently, I deserve to be paid more. And it sounds like a fact, but in reality, it's a feeling, right? The reason it sounds like a fact is because the person could very well have said before that, it is a fact that I deserve to be paid more, right? So their tonality, they use fact tonality to say it, but the real content of it is an emotion. And what they're saying is like they feel that it's unfair. They feel like they should be given more, right? And those are all feelings. They're not facts. See, the funny thing about deserving, people deserve things like respect and common, like human decency. But people cannot deserve accomplishments. See, because accomplishments are in the realm of cause and effect. So if you want to accomplish one thing, there are a certain number of prerequisite steps or ingredients that must be in place in order to achieve that accomplishment, right? To bake a cake, you need all of the ingredients. You can't just sit in an empty kitchen and say, well, I deserve the cake because I deserve to have made a cake. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you either make the cake or you don't. So people take this into other areas of their life, and they confuse the categories, right? And then they think that they deserve more when they actually haven't done the work that it takes to actually accomplish that thing. Okay, number three, trying to express something but not giving enough information. Oftentimes this is done by using like these buzzwords. So for instance, these days you might hear, oh, we're on another lockdown. Well, what does that even mean? Because I'm a millennial, so I grew up in the 90s, and as soon as Columbine happened, anytime I heard the word lockdown, that meant you hide in the classroom, lock the door because someone has a gun, right? That's not the type of lockdown we're talking about now. We're talking about a COVID lockdown. So you have to be aware that there are these general words out there that have multiple meanings. All right, let's get to number four. Number four is very common in meetings. I hear it during meetings a lot. And it's presenting an objection without a proposed solution, or presenting a problem without a proposed solution. I have a personal rule that anytime that I present a problem, I try to propose a solution. And so one thing that you might hear in a meeting is someone presents an idea, another person presents an objection, but they don't provide a proposed solution for that. So someone might give an example of, I think we should use this wording for the flyer, whatever. Someone else chimes in and says, well, I can see how some people might interpret that, on the poster, and then it stalls the communication, especially if the first person who proposed the idea is shy or doesn't know how to have a productive dialogue. Then they feel bad. They don't feel like they can respond, right? They just shut down. So the proper way to do this is, if you have an objection, then you say, well, if we use that choice of words, I'm not sure, some people might misinterpret it. What if we used this, blah, 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 and you propose your counter solution. So a productive meeting should be an exchange of counter solutions. Sort of like a negotiation is an exchange of counter offers. A productive meeting is an exchange of counter solutions. So that wraps up the 4. Think about those, comment below if you have any thoughts, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Think deeply and put your existence first.